Bobcats, often imagined as dry country hunters, have a surprisingly intimate relationship with water. Across North America, from the misty swamps of Florida to the icy rivers of Montana, these elusive cats use streams, ponds, and marshes as hidden corridors and hunting grounds. Waterways offer more than a drink. They're lifelines where prey gathers, cover thickens, and seasons leave rich stories in the mud. Picture a dawn fog rolling over a wetland. A bobcat pads along a half-submerged log, paws finding silent purchase. Beneath the surface, frogs stir, and minnows flash like living silver. The cat pauses, nose twitching at the faint smell of muskrat. Bobcats are strong swimmers when they choose, but they prefer to stalk along banks, using reeds and driftwood as camouflage. Their spotted coats, reflections of sunlight filtering through cattails, make them nearly invisible. Wetlands feed bobcats in many ways. Rabbits, voles, and meadow mice hide in grasses at the water's edge. Migratory birds rest in shallows, and fish sometimes strand in shrinking pools during drought. In winter, thin ice lures snowshoe hares and grouse, and a patient bobcat may wait at the margin, ready to spring. Streams also create natural trails. Sandy bars preserve the footprints of prey, while still pools serve as watering holes for deer and raccoons, animals a bobcat may shadow for hours before a strike. Researchers tracking bobcats with radio collars have learned that these cats map their territories around water sources. Males often patrol long loops that include multiple creeks, using overhanging branches as scent posts. Females raising kittens choose den sites near reliable ponds or seeps. Water ensures small mammals flourish nearby, and its gentle sounds mask the quiet mews of cubs. Even during harsh summers, bobcats adapt. They rest in shaded willow thickets by streams, cooling their bodies while watching dragonflies and herons. After heavy rains, they investigate flooded meadows, scanning for displaced rodents. In desert basins, they dig shallow depressions to sip from hidden springs. Their survival depends on reading the pulse of water, when to approach, when to avoid dangerous currents, when to follow receding pools that trap prey. Yet, human pressure threatens this delicate bond. Draining marshes, channelizing rivers, and building near wetlands shrink the safe spaces where bobcats drink, hunt, and raise young. Conservationists stress that preserving riparian buffers protects not only amphibians and birds, but also the secret lives of bobcats. Where restoration brings back cattails and sedges, camera traps soon record their return, lean shapes slipping between shadows and reeds. To witness a bobcat at water's edge is to see a meeting of two worlds, the restless land and the calm mirror of a pond. Patience reveals the quiet ritual: crouch, watch, wait, then leap. Whether catching a crayfish, crossing a frozen creek, or simply lapping a drink under moonlight, bobcats prove they're not just creatures of brush and stone. They are masters of the margins, thriving where earth meets water, reminding us that the health of streams and wetlands echoes in the silent grace of a wild cat. Wetlands draw life in abundance, and bobcats understand that edges are opportunities. Where cattails meet open water, muskrats build lodges. Where alder roots grip a bank, voles scurry. Frogs sun themselves on floating leaves. A bobcat can stand perfectly still for several minutes, tail tip barely moving, before making a decisive pounce. Even fish or crayfish become prey when low water exposes them. Scientists observing bobcats near southern marshes have recorded them scooping small fish with a swift paw swipe, a behavior once thought limited to larger wild cats. Beyond hunting, streams and ponds are places to drink and to cool. During high summer heat, bobcats lie in damp hollows beneath overhanging branches, their coats lifted by light breezes that rise off the water. In drier landscapes, such as Arizona or West Texas, they memorize the locations of seeps and cattle troughs, sometimes traveling miles at night to reach them. Camera traps at desert springs often capture bobcats arriving alone, lapping silently, ears swiveling to monitor owls and coyotes. Hydrology shapes a bobcat's range. Males often patrol long sinuous loops that connect several creeks or swamp margins. These riparian corridors offer easy travel, open sight lines, and soft substrate for scent marking. Females with kittens seek den sites no more than a few hundred yards from water, choosing hollow logs, rock piles, or abandoned beaver lodges. The constant murmur of water hides the mews of tiny cubs, reducing the risk of discovery by predators. Water's role changes with the seasons. In spring, snowmelt swells streams, scattering prey into higher grasses where bobcats can ambush them. Summer brings lush plant growth, and rabbits graze at dawn along wet meadow fringes. Autumn lowers water levels, exposing sandbars where ducks and herons gather. A patient cat may lie in wait behind driftwood. Winter locks wetlands under ice, but bobcats use frozen creeks as silent highways, moving easily between hunting grounds. Soft banks and muddy shallows are storyboards of wildlife activity. Bobcats study these signs carefully, reading messages left by raccoons, beavers, deer, and even other cats. They scent mark on low branches or stumps near water, claiming the corridor while leaving subtle signals for potential mates. Naturalists following tracks along a river often find that bobcat prints accompany nearly every set of prey tracks. The cat moves as a shadow among many stories. As wetlands shrink from drainage and development, bobcats lose critical hunting and denning habitat. Roads near rivers expose them to vehicle collisions. Pollution can reduce amphibian numbers, removing an important seasonal food source. Protecting riparian buffers, strips of vegetation left undisturbed along waterways, gives bobcats and countless other species the cover and quiet they need. In restored marshes, motion-activated cameras quickly record bobcats returning, weaving between sedges at dusk, proof that resilience lies close to the surface when space is safe. Imagine standing at the edge of a misted pond as evening settles. A heron lifts off, wings catching the fading gold. Then a movement at your periphery, a tawny figure emerging from willow shade. The bobcat pads to the shoreline, pauses, and drinks. Each lap reflects moonlight, each breath slow and steady. For a few moments you share the quiet rhythm of a creature at ease with both forest and water. Then it slips away, absorbed into reeds, leaving only ripples widening on the glassy surface that picture a dawn fog rolling over a wetland. A bobcat pads along a half-submerged log, paws finding silent purchase. Beneath the surface, frogs stir, and minnows flash like living silver. The cat pauses, nose twitching at the faint smell of muskrat. Bobcats are strong swimmers when they choose, but they prefer to stalk along banks, using reeds and driftwood as camouflage. Their spotted coats, reflections of sunlight filtering through cattails, make them nearly invisible. Wetlands feed bobcats in many ways. Rabbits, voles, and meadow mice hide in grasses at the water's edge. Migratory birds rest in shallows, and fish sometimes strand in shrinking pools during drought. In winter, thin ice lures snowshoe hares and grouse, and a patient bobcat may wait at the margin, ready to spring. Streams also create natural trails. Sandy bars preserve the footprints of prey, while still.